A family of creatives, we love to see it. MAW Productions began with the husband and wife duo publishing their own graphic novels. And this afternoon, we'll talk about their latest series, Shinobi Ninja Princess, which was picked up by Scholastic. Welcome, Janet and Martha Wade. Welcome.
How you doing?
Thanks for
So
having
it was picked up by Scholastic?
Yeah.
Okay, walk us all through it. Now, how did you guys even get started in that? I can't even imagine. Who's the drawer? Like, how did ideas come? I got all the questions.
Oh, gosh.
She said, oh, gosh.
Oh, you go.
He's the main creator, so he lays out the stories. Well, we collaborate on the stories, and he lays out the artwork and does the line art, and then he passes it to me for colors, and then we go back and we put the dialogue in it, and we edit it along with our friend, Mr. Kevin Williams,
Yeah.
who's not here today, but yeah. I made it sound really simple.
You made
It's
it
a
sound
long
like
process.
I was gonna say it can't be that simple. Like, okay, we tried it. So how do you even come about creating a character? Is there like, do you see a story or something else, or does someone else have an input?
Well, I mean, what happens is usually I have a story that pops up in my head, and then I'll end up, throwing it to, like my son and my wife. My son, he's 13, so
he's full of ideas.
So has he
a lot of
always
ideas.
been in the comic world in that little?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, since he's about 5.
So you got it. So you have one who's authority. He knows the game.
He kinda, yeah. So a lot of times, since our book is like, kid friendly, we wanted to appeal to all ages. We ask him as well. I don't want to come off as being like, boomer.
Yeah.
Boomer.
A boomer trying to relate with you.
Yeah, trying to relate to the youth.
So how many versions do you start with? Like, how many versions does it take for completion?
Man. So it starts out with the writing process. So I write it.
So you write a story.
Write a story out. All right.
Okay.
And then I'll pass the story off. We'll read it. Usually, sometimes we'll have a sit-down session. So I'll read it at the house, and then
for people like just to each other, or you have like a little mini audience.
Yeah, it's just to us.
Oh, just y'all. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll read it, and then she'll give me feedback, and then Anakin will give me feedback, and then that's my son. So then what I'll do is I'll go back and script it, and then start drawing it and laying it out. So I'll draw it, lay it out, and then even that changes. The artwork changes some of of what the script was, and then give that back to Janet. Janet colorizes it, and then they give it back to me, and I start putting the words in graphic design and in Photoshop.
So is this our first princess, or do you have so is each book like a series where it continues on?
It continues, yeah.
It's all based on the same characters. The main character
kind of like the little Junie B.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The
I
first,
love those books, I'm sorry.
the first book that's out that was in Scholastic is actually the first season. So we call them seasons. So we're on season 2. So technically we're on season
3.
Actually, yeah,
We're working on
season 3. Yeah, that's actually, we're working on season 3 now.
So which one went to Scholastic, season 2 or 1?
1.
Okay.
And then season 2 is at our store on Toshigawa Universe. And then season 3 we're working on now. That's what we're
So
coming
how
out
many
with
books
now.
are in a season?
It could depend on the first set of books had 6 issues. The second one had 4. This third one that we're working on, I'm currently coloring the 4th issue.
Right. So it looks like it's going to be
I don't even know until he stops giving.
Right, well, it was actually supposed to be an 8 series, 8 issue series, but it probably will end up going to 10.
So is it a story that carries on? Is it like a y'all funny. Like, is there like a story that carries on with it? Say like a character, and she's going to go do this, so it follows.
It keeps.
So how do you know
how to?
So what is this? How do you determine your story?
I've been me and my wife, me and Janet, we met.
Yeah, that's your wife, Janet. Yeah. You said me and my wife, like Janet. Janet is your wife, right?
you know.
Y'all funny.
But we met in college, so we met at University
Okay.
of Memphis, and
Yeah.
it was in creative
it was like
writing.
a little creative writing summer class, and
And then I was writing stories in there, and we used to have to tell stories in the class, you know, little poems and stuff like that. So mine were always like crazy, like
the action,
ninja stuff,
and
action
things
stuff.
like that.
So you love Marvel movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So she was she that's how we became friends. So she liked that and stuff like that, and I liked her stories. So I had the stuff.
We had a graphic union. But
Kinda, yeah.
I just can't resist that graphic union. Yay, okay.
But then we had so we ended up collaborating on another story which is called Jetta Tales of the Toshigao, and it's actually an
Who?
Jetta.
It's our Shinobi Ninja Princess, but it's her as a
As an
young
adult. Yeah, as a young adult. So
So the princess grows up.
yeah. So we started there first.
kind of backwards.
And then then we had a son. We were like, we need to do something that's more kid friendly for him,
All ages
but
friendly.
still in that world. So we took all the characters and was like, hey, let's do these younger stories, because we always had younger stories that we wanted to do too. Let's take those younger stories and put them in Shinobi Ninja Princess.
And
So
make these
it's all
stories of like us hanging out. Like, how did you grow up
Yeah,
as a kid? How did I
yeah.
grow up as a kid? How did we hang out with our friends? And we just
Yeah.
put them in a ninja story
in a
setting.
ninja setting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you know, how she grew up in Okinawa, so it's a lot of her being a girl in Okinawa, and then me being a guy from, you know, South Memphis. How did those, you know what I mean? How did those two things?
Worlds collide
Yeah,
and
worlds
what they kinda
collide,
do with.
but in a ninja monster setting.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, we're gonna look when Bluff City Life returns. We're gonna see how this story time can break down language barriers. Oh, that is. Why is it? Listen.